So today we are talking about how to develop the heart. So hold your heart first and feel it. Good. First of all, I will start with why we develop the heart. So the first thing is that heart is the contact point with the purpose and the plan. If your heart is not developed, if your heart is not open, the heart does not register the plan, the heart does not register the purpose. And if you don't have the registration of plan and purpose with your heart, within your heart, you are a lost ship in the ocean. Did you see that? So when your heart developed, you have purpose. Even if you don't know that purpose, instinctively you feel that you should do certain things. Even if you don't know about the plan, you do right things, instinctively. Because the heart controls your actions, your words, your thoughts, and especially your motives. So the heart is the contact point between you as an individual and the plan of the hierarchy and the purpose of God. So with your heart you have a contact with these things. Second, it is from the heart that extends the silver thread which binds you with your teacher. It's not from the mind. It's from your heart. If you see, for example, clairvoyantly, you can see that the silver thread is coming out from your heart and going maybe 5,000 miles to your teacher. Once you build that thread, you are continuously in contact with the teacher. Now that teacher can be any kind of teacher that is working for your spiritual development. That teacher can be a master, Christ, Buddha, or more elevated beings. If there are more elevated beings, then you have contact with them. And this contact keeps you continuously in line. You see, sometimes people tell me that they are going to this teaching, to that teaching, to this organization, to that organization. I sneakily smile. I don't want to criticize lots of times, you see. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I am very heavy. I say, you didn't find some place else to go? You see? But most of the time I am sneakily smiling. And what that smile means? A smile means that you don't have that thread. If you don't have that thread, you will go from here, there, you will buy this book, that book, you will go listen this lecture, that lecture. But if the thread is built immediately, where you take a book in your hand, where you go someplace, where you listen some lecture, your heart will tell you whether it is right or wrong. Even if you don't have the analytical power. It's an instinctive, intuitive operation. And also the next step that is very beautiful is this, that through that thread you accumulate wisdom in your heart. Not knowledge, wisdom. What is the wisdom? Wisdom is extreme light and love mixed together. Intellect and heart quality. Inclusiveness and penetrativeness. See, your intellect is really developed in wisdom. But you have the love to balance the intellect. That's what the wisdom is. And people sometimes they have wisdom. We had an aunt that she was 95 years old. She never went any school. And it was very amazing. It was my puzzle. I used to go to say, Aunt, How come you know everything? And she was the counselor of 90 members of our family. 90 members. Children, grandchildren, this or that. It's all in one house we were living. 42 big rooms. A little smaller than these rooms in that house. 4 stories. And at the top we had a hall that 200 people could dance and eat and be happy. And we had 7 doctors in our house, and none of them, 7 medical doctors, plus 10, 15 pharmacists. They were nothing. Nobody goes to these doctors for advice. And sits there 95 years old, come, he says. The doctors comes and complain about their wife and children. Oh, so shame on you. Go and love her, he says. Everything good. Finish. She solves the problem. She has wisdom. She has wisdom. And I noticed one thing, that it was a great experience in my life. When I went in front of that woman, the problems that seemed to me big, they vanished in his presence. When he looks to you, you feel how small you are, that you are going with a problem like that. I remember one day somebody took my bear, and the bear was me, see. I couldn't find that poet, he disappeared. And I went and destroyed maybe 10, 15 windows at home. I said, I want my bear. Mommy said, why you are destroying these things? I said, I want my bear. Well, he says, go to the ant, look what she will say. She will find your bear. She looked like that. Come. She hugged me and she started to sing. I said, hell the bear. I found the best bear, I said. It was so silly, I saw myself so stupid that I am doing all these stupid things for a little toy. You see, her aura was so big that immediately you enter into that aura, things dissolved in. That's wisdom. Now we must develop this kind of wisdom at our home, that people are attracted to your wisdom. They are not attracted to your knowledge. Knowledge is important, but wisdom is something really different.